Maineprepper here. This morning I'm going to show you a real quick down and dirty breakfast that's going to meet our caloric intake needs and give us the protein necessary as well as a little bit of carbohydrates to get through the day. We have made some mistakes in our thoughts about food in this country especially. We look at food purely sometimes as just a pleasure, and we eat accordingly, and as such we eat not very well. Food is actually to fill a purpose, and that is to give us nutrition. Now, if it also makes us happy when we eat it, if it is a source of joy, that can be okay, but you have to be careful because it's actually a very negative thing to be too affixed to your meals, to look forward too much to eating. Not because you're hungry, but because it brings you some emotional joy, if you will. So we have to change our thinking about food, and that means it's essentially eating is a bodily function. We are replenishing our body. Food is designed to give us energy, but sometimes we don't understand energy. We think because we get a rush or a buzz out of something, well, I can eat a big bag of sugar and get that. Calories, just eating calories is not enough. If it were just enough, then we could put in our sear kit a big 5-pound bag of wheat, because that's got calories in it too, or get a big 5-pound bag of sugar and throw it in there and just eat that. Well, that's not going to be good enough. We're not only needing energy, we're also needing something that's got proteins in it and amino acids, because while we're exercising, and more importantly while we're doing any kind of activity, including walking or running or just day to day, our body is constantly regenerating, is constantly rebuilding. So everything's in a state of decay, the second law of thermodynamics, right? But by the same token, if we're eating right and we're exercising properly, we're in the state of rejuvenation. As you get older, it's harder to rejuvenate, and you're no longer making muscular gains and gaining muscular mass. You pretty much hit your biological peak at the latest when you're 40. So we need to eat foods that are high in nutrition. And high nutrition means it gives us all of the essential items we need, our carbohydrates, our proteins, and our fats, and that they're done in a good balance. The egg is the source of protein that all other proteins are measured against. And I eat a lot of eggs. I'm very active. I have gone down and get my cholesterol checked regularly. I have perfect cholesterol. Some people have a phobia about cholesterol because we have been conditioned by a lot of the media. They buzzword qualify you. Cholesterol is bad, and that's true. You don't want high cholesterol, and you want to avoid cholesterol as much as you can if you're a sedentary individual. If you're a sedentary individual, your life is going to be a lot shorter. Just throwing that out there. So let's make some breakfast, shall we? What we're going to need is some eggs, some olive oil, or some kind of an oil, canola or whatever for our cooking device. Maybe some seasoning if you like. Remember, pepper, mustard, hot peppers are very low. This whole jar would be 35 calories. No calories in this. This is lemon pepper. You can put hot sauce on your food as well. Ta-da! And I have hot sauce always. You can use mustard. And mustard, I like mustard on my eggs. I know now you think I'm really have terrible taste. Probably do. This is a microwave egg cooker. Okay, folds in half, clamshell for cooking an omelet. I don't use cheese in my omelets except on rare occasion because it has a lot of fats in it. But a little fat is good. And I'll throw some black olives in there or something else. Today we're going to make a real simple omelet though. And these you can get, I got this on Amazon for like $3.50 or something like that. Very cheap, and it's made out of a plastic, kind of a stoneware plastic. It's a Nordic ware, and for use in microwave oven only. It means we don't put this into the stove over there, the electric or gas stove. It will melt. Take your olive oil. Pour a little dab in the bottom. A little dab will do you. Okay, just a small amount. That's not showing up. That's all right, very small. And just, my hands are already clean. I washed them earlier, trust me, or not. And you want to take your finger and just rub this oil into one side of the tray. The other side is the lid. You don't need to oil it, okay? So, light coat of oil. All right, we're done with that. Get your eggs. and get a blender. I got this blender for like 12 bucks because when I leave here, I'm probably going to leave it. And put my eggs in the blender. 1, 2, 3. Each egg has about 110 calories and has about 9 grams of protein in it. Okay, so I eat a lot of protein. You can get by with a lot less. Remember, 40% of your diet maximum. If you start having to go to the bathroom a lot, you're eating too much protein. Okay, put the lid on. Or if you're a guy, you put your hand over the top, right? Because we know we're smarter than the blender until we get it all over the floor. Blend it until it's a nice frothy mix. Pour into the container. Close the lid. Open the microwave oven. Carefully, don't spill it. Inside we go. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And while that's cooking, I'll take that opportunity to clean up after myself a bit. Carbohydrates. Strawberries would be good. I can get strawberries cheap right now up here for some reason. Or an apple. An apple's going to be about 100 calories. More or less. Now, if you get a great big apple, they have these apples in the commissary that are as big as my head. I'm going to get one and eat it one time just to see. They're like $2 a piece. I'm just going to see. It's probably genetically altered. Got to be. I worked on my uncle's peach orchard for a while, and we got some pretty big peaches. And the way we did that was, he had a septic pumping business, and this is totally illegal, I found out. He had a septic pumping business, and he would take the septic and pour it down. We furrow irrigated. That means we had rows cut in the ground, and we would run water down the rows to water the peach trees. Okay, it's up in the mountains of Colorado. And he would go at night. We would go pump septic tanks out. And I'm going to tell you, if you want to get some dirty looks from people, drive through town in a septic truck. That's like telling the world that for some reason people think, oh, you're the lowest of the low. You're driving a septic truck. True, we were. So, but we weren't the lowest of the low. He was a hard-working guy, but we were just making extra money to keep the farm going. So I worked there, and we run this. Basically, they call it like midnight soil or something. We'd run that down the rows, and then he'd come back later and he'd disc over it so it wouldn't smell so bad after it dried into the ground. And he grew alfalfa on top between the peaches. And the peaches were huge sometimes, dessert peaches. But we were growing for Del Monte, so they wanted a certain size and shape and everything, so he had to quit doing that. And also Del Monte would have pulled the contract if they found out, because even though the fruit wasn't touching the manure, apparently flies would get on it and then climb up on the fruit. And you get one person gets dengue fever or gets dysentery from your food, nobody's buying your food anymore. All right, and while that cooks, we got just a few seconds left. You don't have to make a meal into a big old deal. You can see this is taking a little bit of time because I'm talking about it while I'm eating. But when you get this out, it's souffle. It's all fluffy. Okay, it'll shrink back down to the normal size of an egg. 3 eggs, that's 300 calories. Apples, another 100. So if you're eating 5 meals a day and your caloric intake is 2,000, there you go, there's a meal. Or you can get, I'm almost out of strawberries, got to go to the store. You can get a handful of strawberries with that. This is about the size of a fist. The apple puts it a little bit over. By the time that egg shrinks back down, though, it's a lot of air in there right now. It's a little bit bigger than the size of a fist. But I know from doing my calorie count, and that's why it's important to do that as well as kind of keep the fist rule going. If you eat the fist rule, you know you're under your calorie count. If you're going to go over the size of your fist, make sure you count your calories. So about 110 maybe calories here, maybe 300, 330 calories there. And there's a very quick breakfast. Quick, fast, and in a hurry, right? Too easy to stick on a diet if we don't make meal cooking into a giant, elaborate, drawn-out affair. When that happens, we get a little bit too much of an emotional fixation on the food, and we're not paying attention to the real reason we're supposed to be eating. This has been the Maineprepper, folks. Thanks for coming over for breakfast. Have a seat at the table. I'll bring us over.